Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots, 8.5. There are a couple of flat eights now out there in favor of the Bills on the road over the Patriots. 40.5 is your total. 40.5, both of those out there. So, Adam, I look at this and I
can feel where you're going already.
Look, I look at this and it's like 8.5 is probably too many points. And it's like my rational mind should probably try to get myself to either a Patriots or pass ticket. But I hate this offense so much, and I hate Mac Jones at quarterback so much, and the lack of talent and playmakers is so evident. And now on the defensive side of the ball, kind of beaten up a little bit more over there as well. I end up landing on an under. Now, it's the number is different from when I got it. I got it earlier in the week. I still think it's under or pass for me. If I don't think that the team can score really at all, if I think Buffalo is kind of mildly broken, and by the way, it's starting to come to roost by this whole me worried about them not having a second target on that team, because they do not have a second option. And outside of Steph Diggs, whenever they really need anything done, they can't get anything done. And I think this is a real concern for this Bills team. And wouldn't they like to be able to call up the Raiders and see if they could acquire Devontae Adams? But that's neither here nor there. Adam, 40.5, 8.5, Bills on the road at the Patriots.
Everything in me says take the Patriots, and I can't get there. And it's the same as what I told you guys last week. I said it here on the podcast last week and said it should be Jets for me, right? Like, it absolutely should be Jets. I loved what it looked like in that spot. Would have been right. Didn't have the guts to do it. And I definitely don't have the guts to do it with Mac Jones this week. Let me read you a few more stats. Desmond Ridder, I told you, 14 turnover-worthy plays total. You know who else has 14 turnover-worthy plays? Mac Jones. They have almost the same amount of interceptions. They have almost the same amount of touchdowns. They have the exact same completion percentage on the year. And so Mac Jones is very, very, very live to throw one pick six, to throw two, to throw three, to throw four, because that's how many pick sixes he's thrown so far this year. He's already thrown 4 pick sixes. And if you want to go ahead and screw up either an under or taking a lot of points with a bad offense, then that's exactly how you do it. So how about this, Matt? Why don't we peg this as a live bet game where after a quarter or so, if it really feels like the Buffalo offense is that stuck, if it's that bad, then maybe then I can get to taking the points with New England or taking an under, but I can't do it pregame.
Steven, the losses, I think, of Gonzo and Judon started to kind of show up a little bit. So we look at these advanced stats and we see, hey, this team's really actually pretty good on defense. But we kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, because now we're about to see what they're truly made of without 2 superstars out there. When I say super, listen, like Christian Gonzalez in his short time he's out there looking like he was the absolute real deal. We know Judon is one of the very best at that position in all of the NFL. So you look and you see, like, well, their rush defense success rate's second against. Like, that's amazing. Rush defense DVOA is 8th, and like pass defense, they're kind of middle of the pack. It's not that big of a deal. Well, maybe it is a big deal.
I agree. And on top of that, they have a quarterback now who's playing worse than Zach Wilson in a lot of ways. If you look at the advanced statistics, most notably completion percentage over expected. So, and when he does throw a dime when he needs it most, his receiver drops it last week, one play before that safety, the irony, right? So I think they have a quarterback worse than Zach Wilson at this point in a lot of ways. And I think they have a defense that's nowhere as good as the Jets. This is a bottom 5 team in the NFL, the New England Patriots. And I want to bet them to cover this spread so badly because I think Josh Allen's hurt. If you look at his ADOT first half versus second half against the Giants, it was like 10 versus 4.5, something like that. It was just, he was hurt and he wasn't throwing deep anymore. So I don't think he's fully healthy. I think he's gutting it out. I think their defense and their passing defense is still very injured. And that's, you saw Darius Slayton burning them on the outside last week. So I'm looking for spots to fade the Bills as a big favorite, but not with this team. I'm good. So I actually went the other way and took a bit of a risk based on how I feel about this Buffalo team. But I just think the Patriots are so bad that I just tease the Bills down through 7-3, and I'm good with that. And if I lose, so be it. win game. Maybe something weird will happen, but I just don't think Mac Jones can go win a game right now. And I'm sure Adam's going to hop in and say that's risky with what we know about Buffalo right now.
No, it's really not. Look, I can't argue with looking at this game and teasing down. I will tell you overall, teasing up has been better than teasing down thus far this year. But again, small sample size, caveats apply to all of these things. The one thing I would point out is that we talked a lot about New England's defense and Buffalo's offense, and we didn't talk about just how beaten up this Buffalo defense is, and the fact that they've already, for the season, lost their top playmakers at all three levels, and now Ed Oliver's not playing this week. If ever New England was going to be able to muck it up and play a 14-10 kind of game and just run the ball over and over again, this would be the game, because remember, before Brian Daboll and Mike Kafka lost their minds on the last couple of plays of the game, they were running the ball all over Buffalo in the second half. Like, Saquon Barkley was horrible in the first half, and then the hole started to open up as the game went on. New England might be able to do that. Ramondre Stevenson is trending back toward in on the injury report this week. So, just things to think about, but I can't play it.
Matt, last thing. This is not the week for it, but after this week, we assume Buffalo gets this win. Let's look at this Bills future schedule and see, like, are there negative outcome futures that we want to consider with Buffalo, considering where they're at? Because we could probably get some really good prices. They're still being rated easily as a top 5, maybe top 4-3 team right now. So if you want to fade them the rest of the way, I think we can get some good prices on them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, the last half of the schedule is certainly much tougher than the first half of the schedule for this team, for sure. You got games against Cincinnati. You got games against Philly. You got the Chiefs. You got the Cowboys. We don't know what version of the Chargers you'll get late in the season, but you do have the Chargers on there, and then closing out the season on the road at the Dolphins. Not going to be easy sledding for the Buffalo Bills. That is definitely for sure, and certainly if they continue to play like they're playing right now.